Okay, good morning, everybody. I know that some of you, and me included, were in Jos's workshop or class yesterday. And Jocelyn, thank you very much for such an extensive exercise class. You really worked just about every part of our anatomy, and it was not easy, for sure. So thanks for doing that, and including so much of our body. What we're doing today, though, of course, is we're working strictly on hips and the region from the hips on down to the hamstrings and the quads and this whole area that includes hips. We look at this again and again and again as to how we've allowed our bodies to function in ways that aren't necessarily the most efficient. And when we do things with our bodies in inefficient ways, it affects us, whether it be in a workout exercise class with Jocelyn or just in daily activities. We want to have the most efficient body. So when we were born with a structural thing called a skeleton, and surrounding the skeleton is all these bone muscles. And the skeleton, if you've ever seen a skeleton, it's pretty interesting in that you have something like 200 bones from your feet, little tiny bones in your feet, all the way up to your head. And every bone has a different shape, a different size, a different contour. Bones in our bodies are fascinating, and they're all designed for alignment. They're all, every strange shaped bone that we've got in our body, from our feet all the way up to our heads, are made to have us be the most efficient person that we possibly can be. But as life goes on, we start taking on different postures for a variety of reasons. We have about 600 skeletal muscles that move these bones. So we don't have to be thinking about it. It's a fascinating thing that we've got called the human body, how our bodies then react. I was at a park yesterday, and I walked for about an hour in the park. And the park had a lot of uphills and downhills and uneven terrain. And I didn't have to be concerned that the muscles and bones in my feet and ankles and calves were going to have to, they knew what they needed to do to compensate for all of these ups and downs and different terrains. And I say the same thing. We take our bodies for granted. Just as you're sitting right now or moving your arms or whatever you're doing right now, we take it for granted that we can do this, but really they're instantaneous reactions that our muscles and all the tissues that go along with the muscles and the fascia are impacting the bones so we can move. But over a period of time, what happens is we start to slump a little bit, we start to get a little weaker a little bit, and next thing you know, the efficiency that we had when we're teenager or a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old, as the years go by, we start to not be quite as efficient, and we blame it on the aging process. We blame it on, well, what do you expect? I'm 50 years old, I'm 60 years old, whatever it is. Of course I'm not in as good a shape as I was when I was 20. Well, to some extent that's true. I'm a gerontologist. To some extent there is an aging process. But what can you do right now, at whatever age you are right now, to start to identify those areas of your body that you've allowed to get weaker, that you've allowed to, where the muscles have gotten stretched or shortened, and then we compensate for that by adjusting our body to meet that. I love watching professional athletes, and I love watching gymnasts, for example. Simone Biles, she's 4'8", and if you've ever seen Simone Biles exercise on the high bar or whatever she's doing, she has such precision in her body. So whether you be a gymnast or whether you be a dragon boater or whether you be a professional basketball player or a football player or a baseball player or whatever, you want to get that these professionals, yes, they're professionals because they have certain skills, but they also have a deep relationship to how their body functions. So they don't have to think about their body functioning. Their body is just plain functioning well. And we are professionals too. We're professional humans. So you want to get that that is part of life. So we're going to go today. Today's workout or workshop is going to be on hips. So you'll be exclusively on hips. So when you do something like whatever your daily activity is, or whatever your sport is, or whether you're taking a class with Jocelyn on exercise, or you're going to a yoga class, or whatever you're doing, or just plain old walking down the street, you're going to be able to do it with a little bit more knowledge. So that, oh, okay, this is why I don't have the same pep that I had when I'm walking up these stairs, or walking up this hill, or walking down a hill. So the props that you're going to need today are a strap or a bathrobe tie. And I'm using a chair right now, just a folding chair, some sort of a chair that you can sit on. Or we're going to be sitting on it. We're also going to be using them for balance. Movements of the hips, as I said last week, are pretty much the same as movements of your shoulders. We have flexion. I'm going to stand, so you're kind of chop me off with the head, but that's just fine, because this is a hip movement, a hip workshop. So we have extension of flexion, extension, adduction, going towards the center, and circumduction. Someone asked me about bicycle riding, and is bicycle riding circumduction? The answer is it's not. Even though your leg is going around and around like this, that's not circumduction. For the most part, that's flexion and a little bit of extension. Flexion and extension. Circumduction is out more of a circle like so. In life, in our shoulder, for the most part, everything is facing forward. So we have a rounding of our shoulders. And if you remember from the shoulder workshops, I'm talking about bringing your shoulders back. You want to be even thinking about how am I sitting right now, if you're sitting or standing. Are my shoulders back? But with the hips, it's so we have this internal rotation. With the hips, it's different. With the hips, it's external rotation. For the most part, our feet are out like this. Take a look down at your feet right now. Take a look at your knees right now. Are they wide? Are your feet turned out? Are you parallel to each other? Guys especially, men especially, for whatever reason, sit more like this. Women sit more like this, even crossing their legs like so. It's a little bit more internal rotation. But, you know, there's even that term man spreading, where guys are sitting like this in public transportation. You know, so this is very, very common. You want to take a look at how am I doing when I'm walking? Am I walking with my foot, this internal rotation? If you're sitting right now, stay sitting. If you're not sitting, sit down. Now, glance down at your feet. Are your feet parallel to each other? And when I talk about parallel, I'm talking about the outside edges of your feet. Now, stand up. Sit down. Did you, by any chance, put one hand or two hands on your legs or on the seat as you were standing up? Are you helping yourself by doing that? No. When you're going down, are you reaching back? Are you putting your hand on one thigh or the other as you're sitting down? You want to be able to take those simple, unconscious movements like that. Am I doing myself a favor by lifting myself up like this? Or am I better off doing it without using my hands? So let's get into some movements now. We'll do a little bit of a warm-up. And I want to do a warm up with figure eights. I'm going to move these straps out of the way. You want to picture in your mind that there's a big figure eight on the floor. Now I'm going to hold on to this chair. And the reason why I'm going to hold on to the chair is that I can make the figure eights as big as I possibly can. If I don't want to do that, and I want to just stand like that so I can get some balance in my leg, that's perfectly okay. But for me, I find that I can make the figure eights bigger by giving myself a little balance. I'm going to start with my left leg, and I'm going to make an internal rotation, and I'm going to make these figure eights as big as I possibly can. So really in your mind, see this number 8 on the floor in front of you. Make the figure eights go in the opposite direction now. Big as you can make them. As big as you can make them. And have the motion be in your, you're not wiggling your body all over the place. Let's go to the other side. Same thing. Picture in your mind this figure 8 and start doing these figure eights. Make the circles go the opposite direction. You should start feeling something in your hip bone and release. By the way, last week I talked about the biggest bone of our body being the femur, which starts down here just above your knee and works its way all up here. And the head of the femur then goes into a part of your pelvic region called the acetabulum. It fits in sort of like a ball and socket, and it twists around and being able to move in these different directions. You want to know where the head of your femur bone is. Push one hip out to the side. You kind of poke around over here. You feel a big bump. Knock it with your fist. That's the head of your femur right there. And that's the part that's going right into the acetabulum. And on the other side, same thing. We have it right over here. This is way up here. It's pretty high. And it goes all the way down to here. Let's do some leg swings. I'm going to go back over to the other side. And just leg swings, just as easy as can be. Try and keep from your waist up vertical. I'm not helping my swings by moving my body around. Let the movement be in your hip.
22.
Turn your foot out.
Cool.
Put your foot in. Wiggle your leg around in some ways that feel a little different for you, a little abduction. And let's do the other side. Swing, just simple swinging. Turn your foot out. Turn your foot in. Bend your knees so you don't stub your toe. That's good, perfectly okay. Now we're going to do some sitting in your chairs. Get your chair ready. Stand in front of your chair. Put down your feet. Have them be parallel to each other, especially the outside. Now, as I talked about before, but using your hands, don't use your hands. Maybe cross your arms in front of your body. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Up. Down. Up. Up. Down. Up.
Can everybody please mute?
Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. notice if your feet have changed position. Have they started to turn out a little bit? If they have, bring them in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay seated for a moment. Then lift your hips off the chair, lift your butt off the chair just a little bit, and we'll pulse for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sit down, rest, or stand up and walk around. One of the things about squatting is a few things that I want to point out. One is you want to have your feet parallel to each other. If you need to, you can have your feet a little bit wider or a little bit wider. What happens is, to compensate for weakened hips, the wider you make your feet and the more you turn them out, the easier it is to squat. So we're trying to have you have your feet as close as you can with your feet parallel to each other. Somebody's not on mute, I think, Carol. I can't. I'm hearing some sounds back there. Now, even though I talked about external rotation as not being the greatest thing to have, we are going to do some external rotation right now. So we're going to do pliés. So turn your feet a little bit wider than your hips and turn your feet out maybe about a 45-degree angle. You can have your hands on your hips or no matter of fact, I'd like to have your hands on the inside of your thighs and then keeping your back as vertical, as upright as you can without leaning forward. Come on down, heels down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and 4, and 5, and 6, and I'm having my hands press my knees apart. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Stay down and pulse. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Walk around, catch your breath. We're going to go back to the chair, and we're going to do some abductions. Now, if you want to have this be a balance instead of abduction, or a balance and an abduction, don't use the chair. I'm going to use the chair. I'm going to stand next to the chair. Chair is on my left. My feet are together, and I'm going to abduct my right foot out to the side, and I make sure that my foot is not turning. I'm going to make sure my foot is not turned out. I want to make sure that my toes are still pointing forward as if the side of my foot is hitting a wall over here or raising up. So you want to be leading actually with the side of your foot. Stand upright, feet together. If you want, put your hands on your hips or not even hold on to a chair at all. We're going to lift the foot up. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and down. I'm trying not to lean to my left. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Last one. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You probably noticed how easy it is to turn your foot out, even just a little bit. How much more difficult it is to lead with the outside edge of your heel. Let's go over to the other side. Same thing. Stand with your feet together to begin with, and then raise your left foot out. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Don't lean into your chair. Try to keep this right leg straight as can be. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Remember, just because I'm limiting it to 5 on each side, or when you're doing this on your own, 5, 10, which is 2 reps, or 2 sets, 1 set, doesn't matter. Whatever feels right for you. If this is an area that's affecting, when you bring it outside over here, not only are you working the abductor muscles, but you're also working a bit of your gluteals and your piriformis, which is another muscle that's right back in here. So now we're going to change. I'm not going to use the chair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to abduct and then take a little bit bigger step and go into a squat and come back. So feet together. I'll have my hands here in front of me, or I can have it here on the side, or in front, or hips, whatever seems to work for you. Abduct, step, squat, up, back together. Abduct, step, squat, up, back together. Abduct, step, squat, back together. Abduct, step, squat, back together. Up, out, down, up, together. Up, out, down, up, together. Up, out, down, up, together. Last one. Up, out, down, up, together. You notice, by the way, I hope you notice, that when I'm stepping out to the side, I'm not stepping with an external rotation. I'm trying to step with my feet facing you or facing forward as much as I can. Let's do exactly the same thing on the other side. Wherever you feel for your balance, whatever is going to be working for you. Step out, squat, up, together, out, down, squat, up, together, up, out, down, 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 up, together. Maybe you're getting a little deeper in your squat. That's just fine. Up, out, down, up, together. Last one. Up, out, down, up, together. Nice. Back to behind the chair, if you want, or not. Once again, this is your choice. This time we're going to do pliés like we did before, except there'll be a little bit of a difference. You're going to start with your feet together. I'm going to abduct. Then I'm going to step way out as far as I can. Foot is still facing forward. I'm going to then bend this knee, leaning forward a bit, or leaning forward a lot. I'm feeling a lot on the inside of my left leg, and then back. Again, step way out, feet forward, bend, together, out, bend, together, out, bend, together. And when your feet are parallel to each other, you should feel a lot on the inside of your left thigh. Big step, bend, together, out, down, together, out, down, together, out, down, together. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Let's go to the other side. Start with your feet together. Take a big step out to the left. Bend that left knee. And come back. Make sure when you're stepping out that you're not turning your foot in any way, that you're still stepping out where your toes are facing straight forward. Again, out, down, together, out, down, together, out, down, together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, breathe, 2, and 1. Nice. Shake your legs out, walk around a little bit. I'm going to use my chair again. I'm going to start with my right foot, circumduction. So I'm going to plantar flex my foot and just make big circles. I'm making it go in the same direction as a clock, doing it clockwise. Now I'm doing it reverse, counterclockwise. This is circumduction. Now there'll be a change, same right leg, but this time I want you to plant or flex your foot and lift it up as high as you can without leaning way back, without leaning way forward, and point your toe to tap down at 12 o'clock. Lift, 1 o'clock. Lift, 2 o'clock. Lift, 3 o'clock. Lift, 4 o'clock. Lift, 5 o'clock. Lift, 6 o'clock. Lift, 5 o'clock. Lift, 4. Lift, 3. Lift, 2. Lift, 1. Lift, 12. Other side. Controlled circumduction movements. So start with just letting your leg sweep around counterclockwise. Nice big circles, as big as you can. Lift your hip as high as you can. Make the circles go in the opposite direction. Remember, this is a ball and socket joint, meaning that the femur and the acetabulum has the ability to twist and turn in all kinds of different ways. Now let's do that same exercise as we did before. Stand firmly on your right leg. Plantar flex your ankle on your left foot. Lift it up as high as you can and point to 12 o'clock. Tap it down. Up. 11. Up. 10. Up. 9. Up. 8. Up. 7. Up. 6. Up. 7. Up. 8. Up. 9. Up. 10. Up. 11. Up. 12. And shake out. Walk around a little bit. This time you are going to use your chair for something that you want to hold on to. And if you have a table instead of a chair, that's okay. But this is hip extension. And I think if you remember, for those of you who were in the class last week, hip flexion is pretty easy. We do hip flexions all the time, but we don't do a whole lot of hip extension. Not really. So we're going to do some hip extensions right here. So you're going to hold the back of the chair. We're going to start with the right leg, and I'm going to bring my leg back. The knee has to bend a little bit, that's okay. But now, from here, I want you to really be upright as you can be, so that you're not leaning forward to help the extension. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower and foot down. Again, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. Up. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I can't speak for you, but I found that as I was approaching 10, I wanted to lean a little bit forward to help. Do everything you can to have the extension be just that, the extension. So now we'll go over to the other side. I'm going to just turn my chair around. Same thing though. Now with your left foot, stand upright. Bring your foot back. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Make sure that you're not helping by turning your body. Have your hips be facing the back of the chair. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Last one. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Wiggle around, loosen up a little bit. And through the whole practice today, notice where you want to cut corners. Notice where it's a little easier to do it a certain way and a little bit more difficult to do it a certain other way. Make it a little bit more difficult. Challenge yourself a little bit. Stand with your, again, for your chair. This time, this is hip of flexion. And what I want to do now is I want to bring your right foot up, grab your foot of your ankle, and I want you to bring your knees. There'll be a tendency to have your knee go forward. I want to have your knees in line with each other. So you can stand whatever way you want and pull your heel close to your buttocks as you can. Notice if your knee is way out here like this in flexion, can you bring it back to where its knees are in line with each other, and can you stand up a little taller? We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. Do it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Pull your heel as close to your buttocks as you can. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Other foot. Square your hips to the back of the chair. Reach back. Knees in line with each other. Heel as close to your buttocks as you can. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, push your hips forward, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, stand upright, push those hips forward, last one, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and relax. We're going hips around. Often, if you feel stiffness, there's a movement called figure 4 that I'm sure that all of you have done. It's sort of a version of pigeon in yoga. So either holding on to something or not, have your left foot be perfectly straight forward. Once again, we're not letting it externally rotate. And then take your right ankle and put it on top, just above your knee. You're making a figure 4. And then from here, with as flat a back as you can, so you're not rounding your back, come forward. Breathe. Maybe you sneak down a little bit further. Exhale a little bit further. Flatten your back a little bit more. Push your butt out a little bit more weight in your heels. Come on. Other side. Left foot. Down. This is a beautiful opening for not only certain areas of your hips, but also your gluteals will be stretching a little bit, and your piriformis, this muscle that I talked about earlier, is getting a beautiful stretch right here. Flat back, sit down a little bit lower if you can. Breathe deeply, and come to standing. And now we're going to go down to the floor or your mat. I'm going to slide my mat over. The rest of the practice is going to be down. Get your strap handy or your bathrobe tied, either way. When you start with working on your hamstrings a little bit, just remember your hamstrings will be affecting your I apologize. Your hamstrings are going to be deeply affecting your hips all the time. All the time. Turn this down a little bit. So we were doing figure 4 standing, but now we're going to do figure 4 seated, and it's going to be a whole different region. It's going to affect your hamstring as opposed to your piriformis and your gluteals. So take your right foot and bring it on top of your left knee. Once again, it's the same figure 4, but this time, take your strap and put your strap around the sole of your left foot. Sit as tall as you possibly can. Now, if you have a lot of flexibility, you might not need the strap at all. You might easily be able to reach your toes. I can't. So from here, I'm going to sit nice and tall. I'm pushing out with my heel. I'm walking my hands down towards my foot as far as I can go. And I'm pushing strongly out with my left heel. Hold for 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change sides. Left ankle on top of your right knee, or above your right knee. Put the strap around the sole of your right foot. Sit nice and tall. And breathe for 30, 29, 28. Push your heel out. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now, this is one that you've probably done, but I'm going to have you do it a little bit differently. Put the strap aside. I'm going to take my right ankle and put it on top of my left knee, and then I'm going to reach in between, and I'm either going to grab the front of my shin, or if I can't, I'm going to reach and grab the back of my left thigh. And if you can't reach it either way, you put a strap around the front. Now, I'm going to clasp my hands around the front of my left knee and let my head rest back on the mat. Now, you've all done this. I'm sure you've done it at one point or another, but I'm going to have you do it a little bit differently so you can start to recognize which part of your anatomy is asking for a little bit extra help. So first, dorsiflex both feet. Really dorsiflex your feet. And now pull that knee in towards your left shoulder. Pull it in really hard. Breathe. Where are you feeling this? Relax. And now pull it in directly towards the midline of your body. Notice there's a little different sensation. Relax. And now pull it in towards your right, pull your left knee in towards your right shoulder. And relax. Let's change sides. Left knee on top of your right, left ankle on top of your right knee. Reach in that space in between. Start by pulling that right knee in towards your right shoulder. Directly towards your right shoulder. Pull it in towards the midline. Pull it in towards your left shoulder. Probably a big difference from one side or another and how we just automatically go to the easier part. So when you're doing this on your own, you can either pulse, you can squeeze in and out, you can hold it for 20 or 30 seconds, whichever seems to work best for you. Staying on your back, we're just going to do a little bit of Apanasana. So bend your right knee, have your foot flat on the floor, grab a hold of your shin on your right foot. We're going to do a deep hip flexor right now. So lift your head and then put your head back down so your neck is neutral. And now squeeze that knee in as tight as you can into your chest. Squeeze for 5. Hot tighter. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Other side, left side. Squeeze that knee in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And come to seated. Put the soles of your feet together. Have your arms be on the inside of your knees, like I'm sitting right here. Trying to sit as upright as I can be. And now I'm going to push my knees, trying to make my knees close, but my arms are going to resist. So it's an isometric movement. I'm pressing with my elbows, pressing with my knees. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Having your heels as close to your buttocks as you can. or as close to your groin as you can. Again, press, squeeze your knees together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to want to push my knees together, but I'm going to want to have my knees go apart, so my hands are going to prevent them from going apart. Push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little strength exercises. By the way, stretching, I feel that it's important to stretch some parts of your body every day. As far as muscle work is concerned, strengthening exercises 2 or 3 times a week should be sufficient. We're going to do something called fire hydrant. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Have your hands directly under your shoulders. So they're not way out here like this. Right under your shoulders. Your knees are right underneath your hips. And there's going to be a tendency to lean to one side or the other. And there's also going to be a tendency to bend one elbow or the other. What I want you to do now is I want you to raise your right knee up to the side. I'll show you. It's going straight out to the side. Now notice there'll be a tendency to want to have left elbow bend and my body, I'm exaggerating, go. I want to make sure that your arms stay straight like solid pillars so that the movement of this fire hydrant is strictly in your hip. So lift it up and down and up and down and up and down as high as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now make circles with that hip. Make the circles small, then make them bigger. Notice if your left elbow is bending. If you want to make this a little bit harder, straighten your leg. Make the circles with a straight leg. I find it, for me, I like to have my knee bent, completely up to you. Don't lean over to the left. Make the circles go in the opposite direction. Big, nice, big circles. And let's switch to the other side. Lift your left leg up and down and up and down. Don't bend your right elbow. Don't lean to the right. Just pure abduction, abduction. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now make those circles. Is there a difference from one side of your body to the other? Probably is. Watch out. Have you bent your right elbow? Keep your right arm straight. Make the circles go in the opposite direction. Try to keep your back as flat as can be. And release. This time, bring your hands out a little bit further in front of you. Have your knees be wide apart. Have your feet be together. And sit back in child's pose, Balasana. Sit way back as far as you can. Let your head rest on the mat if you can. Stretching your hips back. And come on up. And walk your hands out to the right. Take your left hand, put it on top of your right hand, and then stretch back towards your left hip. Breathe. Back up. Walk your hands around to the right as far as they're willing to go. And then let your hips sink back towards your heels. A beautiful twist. Breathe deeply. Come back up. Walk your hands out in front of you towards the left. Take your right hand, put it on top of your left hand. Stretch back towards your right hip. Come on up. Walk your hands around to the left. Let your hips sink back towards your heels. Twist. Just loosening up your hips in all kinds of different ways. This time you're going to be rolling over onto your backs. We're going to do a double hip rotation. Have your feet be flat on the floor and have your feet be together if they can. Have your knees be together if they can. Bring your arms out to the side in a T. I like palms down, but if it's better for your hip or for your shoulders to have your palms up, that's okay. And now from here, let your knees flop to the right. Turn your head to the left. Back to the center, other side. Go back and forth. When your knees are flopping to the left, you're turning your head to the right. When your knees are flopping to the right, your head is turning to the left. Now, some of you will be able to have your knees come all the way to the floor. Some of us, like me, no way. If your feet were off the floor right now, which they're not, I hope they're on the floor, but if they were off the floor, most of these rotations that you're doing right here would be for your lower back, which is not what we're trying to do. Turn the head, back and forth, back and forth. If it makes you too dizzy to go back and forth, then just keep your face pointing to the ceiling. Back and forth and back and forth, maybe a little bit faster. Experiment with having your heels maybe a little bit closer to your buttocks, if you can. A few more. 5, 4. Nice loosening up. 3, 2, and 1, and release. Stretch your legs long. Palms face the ceiling. Now remember, when we talk about the hips, we talk about the thighs, the front part of the quadriceps, the front part of your thighs. We talk about the sides of your thighs. We talk about the backs of your thighs, which is the hamstrings. And we talk about the inside of your thighs. But we also talk about your gluteals. And what do we do with our gluteals all day long? We take the biggest muscle of our body and we sit on them and we squish our butt, and we don't use our butt hardly at all. So is it any wonder when we're climbing hills or climbing stairs that we start to really huff and puff a lot? So we're going to do a little exercise now for your gluteals. So take your left foot and walk it back towards your left gluteals. Reach down with your left hand so that you can touch the back of your heel, of your left heel. From here, your foot should be directly under your left knee. Your left foot should be under your left knee. Take your right foot now, bring it up to the sky, and point it to the sky. Have your hands be flat on the floor in front of you, or on the side of you, pardon me. Point your toe to the sky, and now lift your buttocks up into a bridge. Lift up high. Point your toe to the sky. Point. Lift up a little higher. Press down with your hands. Tighten your butt. Lower back down. Keep your foot still pointing to the sky. Up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up high, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and down, and relax that leg. Walk your right heel close so you can touch the back of your heel with your right fingertips. Bend your left knee, straighten your left leg, point your toe to the sky, press down with your hands, and up you go. 1, and down. 2, and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and relax. A lot of good work for your buttocks. Single leg glute bridge. Come back up on your hands and your knees. And then bird dog, a little bit differently than you've done it before, perhaps, or maybe you've done it the same way. Hands directly under your shoulders. So they run out in front, but they're really braced strongly. Take your right leg, and just bring your right leg straight back. Now bring it up a little bit higher without wobbling over to the left side. You really want to be as straight as can be. Drop your right hip down a little bit. Point your toe of your right foot like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Put most of your weight in your right arm now, and bring your left arm alongside of your ear. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. Other side. Left leg goes back first. Level your hips as if you had a glass of water sitting on your hips and you didn't want it flopping over and spilling from one side to the other. And once you know your hips are balanced, then raise your right arm alongside of your right ear. Stretch. Touch the front wall, touch the back wall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once more on each side. Right leg back, right leg back, left arm forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Right arm, left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. You might need your strap now. On your back. Last week, we did half happy baby, where we took one foot, grabbed the big toe side, and brought your foot up like so, and brought your knee down. Today, we're going to do full happy baby. So if you need a strap to help wrap around your feet, by all means do. So I'm going to reach up with my right hand and grab a hold of the big toe side of my right foot. Now, I'm going to reach up with my left hand, grab the big toe side of my left foot, and now I'm going to bring my knees down towards the mat, and I'm going to bring my feet back up towards my face, so towards the wall behind me. And I'm going to hold, really pressing down with pulling down with my hands, pushing down to the floor with my knees, and trying to flatten my lower back at the same time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. If you're doing this on your own, you're welcome to hold that pose for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, doesn't matter. We're going to work on one last movement right now. You're going to be on your backs. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this first. We talk about our hamstrings. And often what we'll do is we'll stretch our hamstrings, which is great. We need to stretch our hamstrings a lot. But what happens is we have 3 hamstrings. So when we're doing most hamstrings, we have no idea if which of the 3 we're emphasizing. So I'm going to give you some movements right now which can isolate each hamstring independently. So when you're doing this on your own, you'll notice that, oh, it's this hamstring that's giving me the difficulty why my hamstrings are tight. So you'll lay back on your back, and you'll take your right hand, bend your right knee in, and grab a hold of the little toe side of your right foot. And then from here, straighten your leg as best you can. Hold. Once again, you can hold for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. We're going to hold just for a little bit right here so you get a sense of what is happening. And what's happening is you're stretching the lateral hamstring, the hamstring that is more on the outside edge of your foot, of your leg, excuse me. And release. Now, take your left hand, put it on top of your right foot. Reach around so your fingers are gripping the little toe side of your right foot. Take your right hand, put it against the outside of your right knee. Push that knee across your body. In other words, you're adducting it. And now straighten your right leg. Big movement right here. Very different movement. Straighten your leg as much as you can. And again, hold it for as long as you feel comfortable. Stretching this out. Going way deep down into my buttocks. And release. And now we're going to do the central hamstring. So clasp your hands around the sole of your foot or use a strap. And now your knee is straight in line with your whole body. Straighten your leg straight up. Don't let it flop out to the side. Push. Straighten your leg as much as you can. And release. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So start with grabbing a hold of, with your left hand, the little toe side of your left foot. Straighten your leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Take your right hand, put it on top of your left foot, grabbing a hold of the little toe side of that left foot. Take your left hand, push it across your body as far as it's willing to go, adducting it, and then straighten your left leg. Very different feeling. Straighten as much as you can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we'll go to the central hamstring. Grab a hold of the sole of your foot with both hands. Clasp your hands around the sole of your foot or use a strap. And straighten your legs straight up, straight. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Come to seated. Take a nice deep breath. Either bring the soles of your feet together or cross one leg over the other. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe through your belly. Nice deep breathing. This is the end of today's practice of different movements and stretches and exercises we can do for every part of our body. I'm always open to requests. Hands together at your heart. Thank you for being here. Namaste.